Drug Stories, share the stories of when you were high. r/Drug Stories. Wanted to share this story for a while now. Finally in the mood of writing this down. So few years back I went to this 3-day forest rave and agreed to do some volunteer work for few hours. But it was on a third day, so I decided to party before. It all started with me and my GF buying a gram of speed each. Had lots of fun dancing and talking with strangers and such. Around 4 PM we were quite tweaked out. These two dudes came to us because they used to be friends with my GF's mom. After a while they gave us 125 milligrams MDMA capsules and left. We danced until come down. My GF suggested we should get some sleep. I agreed. But then we met those hippies that we meet often at raves. Decided to get drunk with them. So we sat on the grass. Drank plenty of hard liquor. Sun was shining straight to my head all the time. So anyway, there I was. Drunk AF. Overtired, etc. I was thinking. This is it. I need some rest. On my way to sleep. This dude I know knocked on my shoulder and asked me if I wanted to buy acid. Surely I did. He gave me a tab. Put it in my mouth without any hesitation, and only then I thought it could have been wise to ask how many Uggs it contains. Dude started laughing. Patted on my shoulder and said, "I wish you strength. These tabs are 300 micrograms. Right then I realized what I've done. I thought a good idea would be to knock myself out with 2 milliliters of GBL. This didn't work. Then my GF came from somewhere and noticed my condition. Got hella mad. Found a common friend to trip sit me. I told him that I was hungry and he noticed that people next to us were eating some cake. I asked if I could have some, and after I ate a few, my trip sitter said, "Dude, you don't smoke weed, right? Why the hell are you eating this cake for?" After a while I lost all connection from reality. The head organizer of the rave found me on a tree, without my shirt on. I was heavily sunburnt and refused to come down nor put my shirt on. Needless to say that I never physically saw him. This got me banned permanently from this festival. People jokingly said that I am the first person they know of who got kicked out from a rave party due over taking drugs. Weekend of complete and utter retardation. I had the house all to myself for the weekend about 2 months ago. Since my mom and dad, who work for the same company, were both out to Madrid for a business meeting. What better way to spend the weekend than to get geeked to the point of going comatose? Right? So I call up my homies Albi and Raquan. They're both siblings. To come and chill for the weekend, and they end up bringing a QP of top shelf weed. While I bust out some 75 micrograms acid tabs and a bottle of 2 milligrams Hulks that my doctor prescribed me. So, they pull up in their car and we get started with a few bowls and like 2 blunts each. Then I bring out the big fellas. We each take about 3 tabs of 75 micrograms acid and pop 1 hour Xanax bars each, which is roughly 3 milligrams of Xanax. We start playing some Xbox, and I can swear that I saw Bill Cosby crouched in the middle of the room smoking a blunt. I said, "Hey, fuck it. We vibing in this motherfucker," so I stare back at the Xbox screen. As soon as Albi wins the game of Fortnite, I look back to Bill Cosby only to realize that he's been morphed into Morgan Freeman. He now has 2 blunts in his mouth toe. I start to go apeshit crazy and yell at the morphing being, "Listen here, you motherfucker. Stop chiefing our shit before I beat your fiendin' ass." At that point we had all blacked out and we woke up on Monday with my parents in the room screaming, trying to wake us up. I was grounded for a month after that. Only weird thing I noticed was that the weed was where we hid it, except for the 8 blunts and 3 bowls worth that we had apparently smoked. And the bottle of Xans that had about 10 to 15 Shan bars was now empty, other than a few dusty grains of Xanax. We only smoked 6 blunts and popped 4 hours shan bars. Yet we were missing a significant amount of our dope. Still tight at Bill and Morgan Freeman for stealing our shit. Pissed in my friend's dryer. So I'd like to think that I am quite versed in all aspects of drug use. Well, there is this one drug apparently I'm not used to. Clonazole lam not pam. After given a sample bottle I decided to take a small amount. Nothing big happened. Fast forward to 2 nights later. Hanging out at my bud's house. I decide to take quite a bit more than previously. Here's where I blacked out. All I do remember is being woken up the next morning being yelled at for pissing in his dryer with all his clean clothes. Also that night after him trying to put me to bed in the guest bedroom. I somehow would always end up in his bed messing around with his alarm clock. The moral of the story is never underestimate the power of a drug. Tripping on promethazine. I was midway through my freshman year and one day me and some of my old friends hung out. One kid brought 2 big bottles of promethazine, a few shan bars and some oxy. The other kid brought Jolly Ranchers and I had half a 2-liter of Sprite. We poured most of a whole bottle into the Sprite, threw in some ice and Jolly Ranchers, and a little bit of shans and a tiny bit of oxy. Then we shook it up in the Sprite bottle. We all took shots of it out of some sippy cup or some shit. By the time we drank all of it I didn't feel anything except for an urge to throw up due to the taste. The 2 guys left shortly after and I went up to my bed. I was lying there for about an hour and it had only felt like 2 minutes. My walls were flashing even though I had no lights on. Then I hears my dog snoring like a person, so I kept telling it to shut the fuck up. I passed out and I woke up and I was in the middle of a conversation with my friend who had already left. He was just staring at the wall. Then he vanished and I suddenly had to piss really badly. I couldn't move my legs, so I just went back to bed. I woke up around 3 minutes later and I was in the bathroom taking a piss. I think this shit is so funny. I laugh every time I think about it. First time doing mushrooms. I'm a big druggie. 16. I've done a lot of drugs but nothing too hard. But my first time doing mushrooms I had 4 grams of mushrooms cause my friend said that 3 grams don't kick in. 3 grams is perfect for your first time. So I looked at the bag and say fuck it in my closet with 2 glasses of orange juice, eating mushrooms and then chugging the orange juice with it. After I'm like fuck, this is gonna be bad. I go sit down in bed. Start watching Star Wars. I start to feel happy and I'm like 30 minutes in. 2 hours later I was feeling it hard in the darkness of my room. I say I'm thirsty AF, so I open the door and it's like I'm opening a gate to heaven. I go to the light living room and it was looking fucking crazy. I'm like fuck it, I got a glass of my water and my arms started melting and then looked down and my feet were just spinning. I'm standing, my hands have reassembled and I start walking to my room. I decide to go to the restroom and people are like, "Don't low okay and TEM ear raw." I did it immediately and do not regret it. I'm purple. I'm very glad I am. I pull off all my clothes, nothing. No penis, no nipples. I sit in the mirror for a while. And then go back to my room. I text a friend, he says close your eyes. I'm exited. Later regret it. When I closed my eyes I was transported to another dimension. And I was a water bottle, a purple water bottle, and then someone drank me and threw me away and I lived that water bottle's life, and right before I get dropped into fire I hear my name, and it's my mom. She woke me up for school cause I was asleep for 2 days over the weekend.